Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesday night edition of Legends from the Past and the Future show. I am Armand, and she is,
Deneen. Hey, everybody.
and here's my boy, Roger.
Roger Parker. Welcome to the show. Let's do it.
Hey, hey, you know
Let's
what?
do it.
We just had a Father's Day, man. Roger, how was your Father's Day, my brother?
It was great. It was great. My old friend Ricky popped up. I ain't seen Ricky since forever. And we just had a good time. We went out, came back late, kind of threw me off in the morning for the gym, but I made it anyway. But yeah, it was really good. Before he came, I just sitting around the house chilling and getting my happy Father's Day stuff. My daughter sent me. My daughters always send me something. I was just sitting up there. I enjoyed it. I did. I really enjoyed the peace and tranquility.
Yeah. Well, you know that Deneen had an awesome show on Father's Day this past Sunday, man. I tell you, Deneen, why don't you just briefly highlight what you talked about?
Oh yeah, so on Sunday we talked about why fathers matter so much, and we talked about the benefits of a good father, and we talked about all the things that people don't really know about fathers, like the impact of fathers. And we did a great shout out for all the fathers, just showing them that we value them so much and we appreciate them. So it was great. Yeah, it was good.
Awesome. Yeah. Now before we start tonight's show, we bring on the legendary Stanford Womack. I gotta talk first about the cruise coming up August 2027. The cruise we'll be leaving from Baltimore, going to Bermuda. We're gonna spend 2 nights and 3 days in Bermuda before coming back to Baltimore. Now, you can contact me for information on how you can reach the travel agent. We want you on that cruise, man. We're gonna celebrate birthdays during the month of July and during the month of August. So join us on our first of many cruises, man. I plan on taking over the cruise line. I'm gonna take over what Tom Joyner did. That's what we need to do. The name, what you got?
Well, okay. So just on that cruise day, can you give us the dates?
Sure. The date will be 8 August through 15 August, 7 days, 8 August through 15 August. Okay, and that's August 2027.
Next year. Okay, good. Thank you for that. So we wanted to recognize our sponsors for tonight. And our sponsors for tonight is Mr. and Mrs. JT Jones, owner of J&J Realty Investments Group, LLC. So thank you for your support. And Mr. Carol Henson, president and CEO of Image Power Inc. Thank you so much. And Mr. Ivy Stokes, we can always count on him, CEO, co-founder, My Econ Inc. So thank you guys so much for your support. And if you want to support the legends, inbox us, send us a DM, put a message in there. We would love to partner with you guys.
Awesome. Now, we got a legend that's in the house. He is here now. I think it's time to bring him on. What do you guys think? You ready for him?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Coming to the stage is none other than Stanford Womack, aka Stan. Stan.
Good evening, everybody.
Welcome to the show, my brother. So how you doing, Stan?
Man, I'm doing great. And I say at my age, if I can wake up, get these feet on the floor, then guess what? He's done his job. It's time for me to do mine.
Absolutely, man. How was your Father's Day?
My Father's Day was great. It's pretty much what you guys talked about. I kicked back, had some grandkids. I got 14 grandkids, man. Some of them came by, and some of my great grands was in the house, and we ate some crabs, and we just kind of did the thing, man. It was very relaxing.
Awesome. Well, this is what we do on the Legend from the Past and Future show. We travel back and come forward. Tell everybody where you were born and raised.
I was born and raised. Actually, I was born in D.C., but I'm from Parole, man. I was born in 1951 at Freedman's Hospital in Washington, D.C. And that's because they just wouldn't let me be born right there at Anne Arundel General back then. So, my brothers and sisters were born on the table, but my father made the trip to D.C. for me. But I'm from Parole, man. Hicks Avenue. Parole for life.
Parole for life?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. What's some of the things you did while growing up?
Oh, man, what did I do while growing up? Man, I did a little bit of everything. I started out in Parole Elementary School, which was like an incubator because, it was a segregated school back then. And, you just felt the love, even though sometimes the love would hit you on your butt, if you got out of line. But it was done in love. And I think in the 4th grade, man, I picked up the trumpet and enjoyed playing music, elementary school. Also played with the Maryland Dutch Drum and Bugle Corps. Y'all a little young. Y'all might not remember the Maryland, coming up Clay Street. Okay.
Hey, don't show your age. Don't show your age now.
But we also played a lot of ball, man. We played baseball, football, basketball. Actually, it was a great childhood, man. As I look back and I think about it, we had a great upbringing because the community looked after everybody. And, the culture in just about every household was about the same.
Wow. Was there anybody in particular that you looked up to while growing up?
Oh, my God, man, it was so many people. The first person I remember as a real little boy was Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker used to live about 2 doors down from us on Hicks Avenue, and he was a farmer. But he used to park his tractor on a vacant lot that was next to our house in a garage. I used to think it was our garage because I was in there all the time, but it wasn't ours, it was his. But he taught us a little bit about farming, man, and his wife, oh man, Ms. Walker, she was just such a beautiful spirit. She baked, and she was just, she was like the center of the block. She just loved everybody. But one person in particular, man, that I really, really have to acknowledge is Ms. Marguerite Hall. Ms. Marguerite Hall was a reading resource teacher at Parole. And up until the 4th grade, I couldn't read. Wow. And she saw that. And she actually took me under her wing, as she did so many other kids at that age. And by the time I finished with her that semester, I was reading at an 8th grade level, man. Wow. It changed my life.
That's awesome.
Wow. What was her name again?
Marguerite Hall.
Okay.
Hall from Best Gate.
Now, look, I got to ask you this question. Now, we had a guest last week who also spent time on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
Can a cow milk chocolate milk?
No. I haven't seen one, man.
You haven't seen one?
No, I haven't seen one, bro. I've seen many of them, but I haven't. As a matter of fact, my brother used to work on a farm, Eagle Nest Farm. It was right there where the Board of Education is right now, right off of Riva Road. And he used to deliver milk. He delivered chocolate milk, but it didn't come from the cow.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, look. Hey, before I pass it over to Deneen, I want to welcome Lodi to the show. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Lodi?
And I guess that this is your granddaughter, Shaquana. Is that her name?
Oh yeah, that's one of them. Yes.
She said, let's go, pop.
Actually, she's my oldest grandbaby now.
All right now. Deneen is on
Grand
you.
Girl. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about some music. So okay. We know that you're self-taught, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But what led you to the instrument that you selected? Tell us about that.
Well, I was always mesmerized by the saxophone. I mean, the first time I heard it, my parents, they used to like R&B, but they also like jazz. And I heard John Coltrane one time, and I was like, wow, yeah, I'd like to be able to do that. But when I was in elementary school, it's kind of interesting. My band teacher, his name was Whit Williams. And he played saxophone, and I wanted to take it up, but he needed trumpet players. So he told my parents that it looked like I had lips for a trumpet. So, okay, the okie doke, I wound up picking up the trumpet, all right. And I played that all through elementary school. And when I got out of elementary school, I kind of left it alone. And I went to middle school, which was junior high back then. I played bugle with the Marylandettes, and that was really a lot of fun because we traveled all up and down the East Coast marching. It was a great time, and we had a great experience back then.
Nice.
And then I gave it up a little after that because I really wanted to play the sax. I didn't pick up the sax until I went into the service and came back home, and then I just bought one and just started making noise, driving my wife crazy in the basement until I could get a sound out of that thing.
Right. Well, okay, so I'm interested. This is interesting to me. So tell me, what do you need to do or be able to do to be, blow those horns? What is that? I mean, do you need he said you had a trumpet lips. What is that? Trumpet lips? Do you have to have a lot of wind? I mean, tell me what.
Well, you definitely need a lot of wind. For a trumpet, you need an armature, a tight armature. You need to be able to blow into that thing without air escaping all around it. You want to put all your air into the instrument. Now, for the saxophone, it's a little different. Even though it's a brass instrument, it's considered in the woodwind family because it has a wooden reed. So it's just a little bit different. But what really led me to music is just the way it made me feel. Music is food for the soul. And I don't care what kind of music it is, whether it's gospel music, because I played in church too, and I still do. Gospel music, jazz, R&B, whatever you feel, whatever moves you, it's moving your soul.
Yeah, and don't you think? I mean, music is a universal language as well, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It can speak to anyone, yeah. Right? So that's
and
great.
I played in several bands, over the years, local bands. And, when you get that groove, man, I tell you, you get the people moving. When everybody's on the same page, there's no other feeling like it.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy actually to get people on the same page when everybody's just grooving to the tune.
Absolutely.
That's what I tell people about the whole what do you call it? The jazz scene. You don't listen to the words, you listen to the music. Listen to the music. So
I remember my brother, whenever I played jazz, he said, "Man, I don't like jazz. It sounds like you tuning up." It ain't for everybody. It's just like art. It's in the eye of the beholder. It's just another form of art.
Well, I just think that it is. I think it is for everybody, but I think that you have to get an understanding of it. So yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, Roger, on you.
Okay, I was reading your bio, and you got all this great information in there. But my thing is, now you started out in the Job Corps. That's right. How you ended up in the Army?
Yeah, kind of. I have to go back to 1963, man. In 1963, I came out of elementary school, and that's when Anne Arundel County was experimenting with integration. Okay, so during that time, they were trying to shut Old Bates High School down. They didn't shut it down completely. It wasn't a high school anymore, but it was a junior high school. So they gave us the option of whether we could still go to Bates Junior High. Now I had 3 brothers and a sister who all went to Bates, and I wanted to go to Bates. I'm the youngest of 5, but I couldn't go to Bates High School, but I wanted to go to Bates Junior. But my parents, in their infinite wisdom, figured, if I went down there with the other folk, I might do a little bit better. Well, I've always had a little streak in me, I'll say, a little militant streak. During that time, we had Rap Brown and Stokely Carmichael that was doing the civil rights struggle and all that. And, I really wanted to be a part of that because I believed in that. But I was a little bit too young. But by the same token, I didn't want to be in that environment. So in the 7th grade, some things went down that I didn't particularly like, and my little 13-year-old brain said, "Look, I want to get out of here. I don't want to be here." So I literally quit in my mind in the seventh grade. But somebody said, "Well, yeah, but you can't leave until you're 16." So I just kind of hung in there, went along for the ride. I came out of parole straight A student, and then I went to be almost a straight E student. So at 16, I quit. I'm pumping gas down on Bladen Street one day, and this little lady came in, little white lady. I'll never forget her. She brought in this old car. My job was to wash cars and pump gas. And I'm pumping gas, and she came in with this beat up old Volvo, and she said, "Can somebody please wash and wax this for me?" So they pointed to me. I'd never waxed a car before in my life before that. And I had to simonize it. Now, you guys might remember back in the day, simonizing, that was elbow grease.
Yeah,
you had to, you had to put you had to do something. So I did. I worked on that car all day. And I must have did a good job, because when she came back, she looked at that car and she looked at me. She said, "Who did that?" And everybody pointed to me. And she said, "How old are you?" And, I'm militant, right? I just quit school, even though I'm not disrespectful, but I am, she said, I said, "I'm 16. I poked my chest out. I said, "I'm 16. She said, "Well, look." And she pointed to the building, which was the old governor's mansion down on College Avenue at the time. And she said, "I want to see you in my office tomorrow morning at 9:00. And I said, "Okay." But in my mind, I was like, ain't no way I'm going down there to see her at 9:00. But I tried to sleep that night and I couldn't. Somebody was talking to me in my sleep. So I found myself in her office at 9:00 in the morning, that next morning. She gave me an aptitude test. I passed it with a 98. She put me in her car and took me home and told my parents about the Job Corps. So that's how I got in the Job Corps.
Wow.
And, I took up mechanics, automobile mechanics, and I graduated from that class. And you know what? I had never heard of low self-esteem, but that's what I had back then. Even though I had good parents, mother, father, everybody, I had low self-esteem. But the Job Corps taught me that, hey, I can be somebody. I can pass. I can do, an abundance of things. So that was what gave me a little bit of confidence. And then from there, I enlisted into the Army. Yeah. And I enlisted, during that time, it was Vietnam War. So somebody said, "Look, they're going to draft you at 18. So you should enlist at 17 so you can choose your MOS." And that was some good information. Again, God was looking out for me. So I became a mechanic in the military, and I went in, did a year in Vietnam, 69 to 70. And thank God I made it out.
Yeah. Okay, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So how to use your experience in the Army, and then after this, I'm gonna pass it over to Armin. So how did you go from a wheel mechanic to a lab tech? That's a leap.
Man, look, I'm gonna touch on a little bit of politics right now. Okay. Again, we're coming out of the civil rights struggle, right? The 1964 Civil Rights Amendment that they just demolished, okay, voters' rights, and all that good stuff. I got that job with the Navy under the Veterans Readjustment Program, okay, and that was in 1979. So by 1980, Ronald Reagan had did away with affirmative action. So now we're looking at affirmative action is gone, voting rights are gone. They try and take us back. I don't want to take this program down, but that's what's going on. But that's how I wound up working for the Navy. I went into that job as a mechanics helper. Now, when they hired us under that affirmative action program. They hired basically the first 6 blacks that came through the door. And as a result, a lot of the the guys that was there, a lot of the white guys felt like, they were upset because they felt like we were taking jobs from some of them. But then they found out that, no, we were pretty good mechanics. So we had to basically prove ourselves. And one good thing about being born in segregation and our parents knowing what we were going to be up against, they always told us we can't be as good. We had to be better. So I thank God for that information that my dad instilled in me. And I worked my butt off, man, to claim, that position. Did very well, moved up in the organization, and wind up going from a submarine test mechanic to a lab technician, actually running the lab.
All right.
Man, Army?
Yes, sir.
So
That's
Stan,
awesome.
now using your infinite wisdom, okay. We're gonna get into your infinite wisdom. So we all know that the Crusaders didn't come around until after the T-Birds left, right?
That's true.
That's right. All right. Now, your two kids played for the Crusaders. What is this? What got you involved in youth sports, or what was it that got you involved in youth sports?
Well, man, I played youth sports as a kid. I played actually before the T-Birds. I played for the Annapolis Kiwanis. They had the Commissary Dodgers. That was during the time when businesses basically sponsored, youth sports. Okay, so I played for the Kiwanis myself. I'm gonna drop some names now: Randy Rao, Grover Chambers, Chinky Carthon, Trenton Parker, Charles Cook. We all played little league ball. So that kind of wet my whistle. We also played football for these store-bought teams, I'm going to call them. That got me involved. But then I left, and when I went in the military and went in the Job Corps, I was gone for about 5 or 6 years, so I kind of dropped off of the scene. But when I came back, married my beautiful wife, straight out of Vietnam. Married her in 1970.
What's her name?
71. Her name is Shirley Pendell.
Right.
Womack. We've been married going on 55 years, been together going on 56.
Man, you've been married for how long?
Been married for 55, going on 55. July 10th will be 55 years.
Man, I got to give you a
That's awesome.
Yes.
Really awesome.
But she gave me 3 boys, 3 kids.
Boys.
Yes, sir. She brought home 3 boys. She did a job. And my oldest, I told you what my oldest was. I had one 47 and one 43. As a matter of fact, the one that's 43, his name is Michael. I was hoping that he could be with me tonight, but he works for the city. And whenever they have water main breaks, they got to turn to and fix it. So they got a break tonight. So he's doing this thing. He can't be with us. But him and his brother, they're about 3 years apart. We took them to the Crusaders to play football. And that's how I kind of got involved as a coach. They recruited me standing on the sideline. You know those sideline coaches.
Yeah.
I was one of them. So they said, well, look, instead of doing all that yelling, come on and try to help us out. So I did. And as a result, what I noticed was a lot of the kids, in particular the boys, they were struggling in school. They were having some issues. So you guys remember the old Clay Street Rec? So that's where we started study hall, 1989. Mm-hmm. And just with the kids from our team. But that grew, man. The parents looked at it and said, oh, that's great. Our kids need help. We had tutors coming in. So we took that to Bates Middle. And that grew into, oh my God, we started off with, I think, 2 baseball teams. At the end of that, in about 10 years, we had we had 7 football teams, 4 baseball teams, and 11 basketball teams.
Wow.
So it just grew, and people just, oh man, it's amazing. They just gravitated to us, And I was the president, but I would recruit like they recruited me. When the fathers were standing on the sidelines, bad mouthing the coaches, I said, "Why don't you give it a shot?"
Come on in.
So that's kind of how it took hold.
Well, you know what? I want you to know that you made a blasphemous statement earlier. Nothing predates the T-Birds, okay? Even though there may have been something.
What can I say, brother? What can I say? I mean,
It is what it is.
If you was with me, you would have been playing ball with me. But I guess you wasn't with me.
So before I pass it over to the dean, you built quite an organization. How did you go about gaining your sponsorship for what you had to do?
Man, I'm going to share something with you guys. From 1989 to about the year 2000, we never had any sponsors. We never had any donations other than what my board and the volunteers would help us with. We did concession stands, and most of what we did came out of either our pockets or concession stands. And I tell you, man, to this day, I don't know how we did it.
That's amazing.
So it had to be God.
That's right. That's right.
That's amazing.
Right.
Okay, Deneen, are you?
I love that. I mean, whenever you do something from the heart, I mean, God's going to bless it. So that's kind of what that was.
Absolutely.
What I wanted to ask you about, when I was in high school, I had what do you call it? I had a summer job, and then when I was going to graduate, they gave you like half day or something. I can't even remember what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
And the place that I worked was in a NSRDC.
That's where I worked.
I worked in the machine shop.
Okay.
And I worked with, did the administrative stuff. So as soon as I saw that you worked there, I was like, okay, I understand that. So tell us about, what you did when you were there.
Well, I worked in what they call the test crew. So basically, if a company or someone wanted to sell something to the Navy, or if there was a failure in the fleet, maybe a crack in a door or something happened that hurt somebody, they would send it to our lab, and we would investigate it and try to figure out what happened. Or if someone wanted to put something on a ship or a submarine, we would have tested in the lab first before we took it out into the field and tested it on that ship. So I rode a lot of ships. I rode a lot of submarines. I was really blessed. I did a lot of traveling when I worked for the Navy as a test mechanic. But then I decided to go into the white collar side. That was the blue collar side. I decided to go into the mechanical, the technical side. So I went into the metallurgy lab, and I spent about 10 years there, 10 years as a test mechanic. So altogether, I was there about 20 years.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It was an awesome job, but you know what? I told you I was different, right? So, I got to the point at some point where I would do all this work in the lab, and then I would turn my work into the engineers who would write up the report and send it down to NAVC, and they would do whatever they were going to do with it. And I never knew, the benefits of our work, and that used to bother me, because a lot of times it was downtime. I could just sit at my desk and play with my computer or just whatever. I was killing time. And I'm not a killing time kind of guy. So I quit that job in 1996, and I started my own business.
Awesome. Yeah, now I just remember I used to work in the machine shop. That's what it was. Yeah. That was fun.
That's where you guys made the parts that we used to test.
Yeah, they did. I mean, I did the admin stuff, but yeah, I was young. It was nice. I mean, hindsight, I probably would have that's where I would have worked. I would have stayed there.
It was a great place to work. It was really good.
They took care of me as a young person. They really set me up. So that was really good. Oh, okay. So you said you started your construction company, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, tell me about that.
Well, I told you I quit the job. I actually quit the job 6 years after I wanted to quit. I still had my two boys. Two of my boys were in high school. One was in middle school, and I thought about them, health benefits and all that stuff. So I was scared, but I knew I wanted to make a change. So finally, I decided in '96, on my birthday, to actually walk away from the job. But before that, about a year or so before that, my sister, and I have to tell you a story about my sister. My older sister, I only had one sister. She was 11 years older than me. She retired from FAA. My sister, her name was Annapolis Womack He. She was the first African-American air traffic controller, female air traffic controller.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's history.
Yes.
And I tear up a little bit because that was my girl. Some people thought she was my mom because we were real tight and she was, so much older than me. But at any rate, I bought a house where I live now, right off of Silopana Road here in Annapolis. And along with that house, I bought was a vacant lot that was already subdivided and developed. So we sitting around my dining room table one day. My sister was living in Sterling, Virginia. And she said, look, I'm getting ready to retire. I don't want to retire in Virginia. I want to come back to Annapolis. So, I'm joking with her. I said, well, girl, why don't you buy that lot from me? Let me build you a house. I'd never built anything like that.
Confident.
So, I'm totally joking. About 2 months later, she came back. She said, look, I got the loan. I said, what loan? She said, I got the loan. You're going to build my house. That's how we work. And that's what I did. A good friend of mine who had built I knew had built a couple of houses. I had him shadow me. And I built my first house for my sister.
Wow.
And after that, I was hooked, guys. I was hooked. So that's what got me started building houses. And I built, Cheryl and I probably built 50, 60 houses throughout Anne Arundel, Calvert, Prince George's, Montgomery, Baltimore County. I'm still doing it.
Really? Wow. We love that. And I hope that you are mentoring some people to continue to do that.
Well, I am trying. As a matter of fact, I just had a conversation with one of my good friends, Dr. Randy Rao. We've been talking about trying to develop an in-house program to train some kids, to teach them, some of the things that we've learned, in particular what I learned. I'd love to teach as many kids as I could to do what I do. And I'm an A to Z builder, guys. I don't care if you got an old house on there or if it's a wooded lot or whatever. I'll tear it down. I'll clear it. I go from the ground to the root, from the root to the fruit.
From the rooty to the tooty. I love it.
And that's my passion. And I can drive by. I don't even know how many houses I built. People say, well, how many? I don't know. But I love to drive by them and say, I did that. That gets me off.
I love your energy. Oh, my goodness. I love your energy and your passion on that. And having said all of that, I'm going to pass it over to Roger.
Oh, at one point, I thought I forgot about. But with the, look at her face. Look at it. And Deneen is still the youngster here. But going back to when you were working for the Navy, being an Army guy, you should have worked for the Army, but we're gonna let that slide because Army and I we Army, but we're gonna let this.
I've been watching y'all.
So when you work going from the wheel mechanic up to the big guy running the whole system, the big lab guy, I know you ran into some complications because of the color of your skin. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I can. I didn't know if you wanted me to get into that, but I
Go on, get into it. It's your night. Go on and get into it.
I ran into a whole bunch of complications. Okay. First of all, first of all, there was a lot of nepotism on that lab. All right, a lot of uncles, aunts, and cousins, and sons and daughters, and all that. And we were a minority there too. Okay, you know about that, Denise.
That was the original DEI.
Absolutely.
When it was okay for DEI.
Yeah, when it was all right, Yeah. Because see, part of the civil rights struggle of the act of Voting Rights Act of 1964, they said, okay, you're a minority, you have the right to vote, and you have a right not to be discriminated against. But then in 1965, they included white women. Okay, when they included white women, y'all know what happened. They were fronting for white men, and they started getting a lot of the benefits that we should have gotten. But anyway, that being said, they basically, when we applied, it was 6 of us, and they hired the first 6 that came through the door. And management basically told the crews that we were going to get in there and mess things up. Okay, we were not worthy. We shouldn't have been there, and they shouldn't have hired us. So y'all know what happened. We went through a lot of changes. We had to really fight for everything that we got. And to our credit, we stuck together because, see, what they didn't realize was they lumped us together. And when they lumped us together, we worked together. We stayed together. They gave us these books. I mean, I've gone through algebra, trigonometry, geometry, all kinds of math and stuff that they thought they were going to throw at us that was going to deter us. But man, we ate that stuff up like termites, and
right? Always.
and we prevailed.
Always.
So we ran into a lot, Raj. But to our credit, man, we're resilient people. That's why what's going on right now, this ain't nothing.
No.
Right.
This ain't nothing.
Exactly.
This is just a temporary setback. When I look at what our ancestors did, we ain't going through nothing.
Amen to that.
When I go to Fort Meade and work out and run into a bunch of the old guys, there was I'm older than me. I'm 66. And then but to hear their stories, and I always tell them thank you, because there wouldn't have been no Sergeant First Class Wallace or no Command Sergeant Major Parker without those guys paving the way.
You're absolutely right.
And to listen to some of these stories, like this one Lieutenant Colonel talked about, his OER has said that his name is Jones. Lieutenant Jones is the best Black lieutenant I ever worked with. And that was okay back then. Then he told me something I didn't know today. In the beginning, the Black soldiers, regardless of their rank, unless they couldn't live on post.
That's right.
They could come on post and use everything, but they couldn't live on post.
It was against the law.
I thank guys such as yourself for paving the way and going through what you went through. Because I probably couldn't have done it. They'd be like, get rid of him. He fighting everybody. He throwing hands. Threw a screwdriver at somebody. You need to get on up out of here. Because and that's because I was raised different from you guys. But you guys,
if I had to go through some of the stuff that they went through.
It was we hear you.
It seems like we're having some problems here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I had to go through some of the stuff that they went through, I probably would have been thrown in the brig, man.
And on that note,
I thank God that we're standing on the shoulders of the guys that led the way for us.
Oh yes,
absolutely. Well, you know what, Stan? I'm just in awe, man. You had 7 football teams, 4 baseball teams, 11 basketball teams, and you have to uniform these athletes as well as the cheerleaders. How did you do it, bro?
I'm telling you, man, we just put our heads together and worked together. Most of it came from concessions. There
Yeah.
was a company back then called Team Distributors. They were right there on George Avenue.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys might have remembered it.
Mhm.
I would go in, talk to them, just chew the fat with them a little bit. Man, they would extend us credit. Okay, and if we
That's
couldn't
awesome.
pay right away, look, Stan, I know you're gonna bring it back here. And that's kind of how it went. That's kind of how it went. But we always made sure that we took care of our responsibilities, and that's what we taught the kids, man. And I'm saying kids, these guys are in their 40s now, man. Some of them are 47, 48. Some of them are 50 years old. They're bringing their kids. Some of them have grandkids that are coming back to the organization. So,
Wow.
it's just been an amazing ride. Um,
Yeah.
one group of kids in particular that played with my middle son. Um, it's about 25 of them. They played baseball, football, and basketball from the time they were about 8 years old up until they went to high school. But they've stuck together like almost a fraternity, man. These guys stay in communication with each other. As a matter of fact, my middle son just got married, and his best friend from the first grade is living in L.A. He's going to be married in August, so we're going to go out. He's our godson.
Mhm.
There's a story behind him, but if I told y'all all the stories, we'd be here for 2 hours. And I know this is just a 1 hour program, but a lot of those kids, they had, I used to tell the coaches, I said, look, we got them for a couple of hours a day, practice and games, but then they got to go home. And when a kid knows that you care about them, they start opening up to you. They start telling you stuff. And when some of them tell you what's going on in their homes, man, it's really tough. So for a long time, man, we had kids that lived right here in our house. We'd get a knock on the door sometime, 10, 11 o'clock. Something's going on in the house that they don't like. Can I stay here? Sure, come on. You know, so those are the kinds of things that the bureaucracy doesn't see. But it's still going on. We're not just coaches, not just mentors. In a
Right.
lot of ways, we're surrogates.
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely.
I love your motto: willingness, education, perseverance, and determination.
Yes, sir.
How'd
Absolutely.
you come up with that?
Well, actually, that came from Annapolis High School. I can't take total credit for that.
Okay.
That was a motto that was in the graduating class of 1969 from Annapolis High School, and it might still be their motto. I'm not sure. You guys, I think, might have went to Annapolis. But when I looked at that, I said, yeah, that's what I would like teach kids to aspire to be. And we try to do that. And we also had another motto. We would tell the kids to say I am and I will always be drug free.
Yeah,
So
right.
Yes.
Nice.
that's what we stood on.
Yeah.
And it worked, man. And don't get me wrong, we lost some of them along the way.
Yeah.
Some of them kind of ducked into the shadows for a while, but when they came out, they still remember some of those childhood experiences, and a lot of them have turned their life around. Right now we do study halls. We try to do a study hall on Monday nights, and I might have recovering addicts coming in talking to the guys. We'll talk about drug and alcohol abuse. We'll talk about STDs. We'll have motivational speakers coming in. We'll take them on trips to college campuses or wherever we come up with. And look, guys, we just got a grant from the county for $75,000. Man, one of the biggest grants that we got, and I just thank God for it, because what we're going to do, we're going to put an after-school program in Bates Middle School. That's going to be our pilot program to get started. But we want to put our program in every elementary school in the city of Annapolis.
Amen. Amen. I love that.
Man,
Wow.
I'm telling you, man. You just you, your wife, the Womack Corporation, just
That's
so
awesome.
inspirational. Yes. Denise, we may have to bring him on a board meeting one night.
Yeah, I know. We need to talk offline.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Hey, go ahead, Denise.
Okay, so all of those things that you were just talking about, I just want to say that real quick. I want to make sure that we covered that, Roger. Was that about that was about the ACEs program? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, that's the ACEs program.
Okay.
Basically, we've taken our study hall program to another level with the help of some friends and influential people. We're trying to develop it into something. We're trying to leave a legacy, and we're trying to get to the point where, I really want it to be a standard. We're trying to set it as a standard, so that when you talk about the All-Stars, you're not just talking about sports. Because see, it ain't even about sports.
Right. Well, sports is so much more,
Yeah, sports is the hook. That's a catalyst to get it started.
Yes.
You can get their attention. Once you got their attention, and once they know that you care about them, now you can drive the car. You can do a lot of things, And right now, we got the other element out on the corners driving the car, but we want to, take that element away and make them want to be a part of the Annapolis All-Stars. And then we can, show them some other things that they might not see in their neighborhood.
I love that. And I'm sure Armando asked about that later. It's about the information for people to be a part of that. But I wanted to go on to a personal note because you said that you knew my dad, right?
I did. Yeah,
so if you knew my dad, then tell me something about any kind of movement that you were a part of in Annapolis or in DC area. Because I know my dad was all into the movement.
Yeah, he was. Well, we had an organization called the Annapolis CBR Social Club.
Yep.
Okay, so we were all on Citizen Band Radio, and it was a lot of people, that we would talk to through Citizen Band Radio. Some people you wouldn't even believe, until you actually saw them in person. But your dad was called Witch Doctor. Now, Witch Doctor lived. Yeah, that was
he lived in Bay Ridge.
And let me tell you, he was a witch doctor. He lived in Bay Ridge Gardens, and I lived right down the street on Bay Ridge Avenue. So we were kind of close in proximity, and we would talk all the time. But we both loved to play chess, so we would play chess with each other. We would party, man. We would party hard. We were young, and we had a real good time. It was a social club. But we also did stuff for the community. We would get together and fundraise. We would give out turkeys. We would help to feed people. If a family was going through whatever they went through, we would try to help them. It was a social network, and it was good. It was a good experience.
Yeah. It was community for sure, right?
Yeah. And your dad he was good people. He was definitely good people. We used to play tennis together too. Yes. And he couldn't beat me, I shouldn't say like that. He ain't with us, but he couldn't handle me. But that's all right.
He was too. I knew he played tennis but chess. That's the thing about chess. We played chess. We played backgammon. The people that were in the movement did a lot of mind games. That's what people did. People were very progressive, and they were trying to build up our mind. And that was one of the things that my dad stood for, was making sure that people had utilized critical thinking tools.
I'm proud of one thing that you and your dad shared, me and your dad shared. My first house that I was living in on Bay Ridge Avenue, that was our first house coming out of Bywater. We moved into, Shirley and I moved into Bywater when it was a co-op. So we were actually supposed to be part owners of Bywater, but it kind of changed over the years. So we bought our first house on Bay Ridge Avenue. I sold that house to your dad.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that. Yes. Wow. So anyway, thank you so much for that, for sharing that. It really did. I mean, that warmed my heart, especially coming off of Father's Day. I really did appreciate that. That meant so much to me for you to be on the show.
Good man.
Go ahead, Roger.
I want to hear some more about the witch doctor. I'm intrigued.
Well,
you might not want to know everything about witch doctor.
Wait a minute now.
well, okay. I do want to say
we
one.
grown now. Maybe Deneen don't want to know everything, but the guy side, we with it.
Well, look, along with our chess games, okay, we used to dabble a little bit, and we had our spirits, and we would have a good time, okay.
The thing that I would like to leave for the public about my dad was like a valedictorian and the president of his class at Bates in 1965.
All right.
That's what I want to leave.
And he was also the witch doctor, folks. Don't forget that part.
Oh
that was after the valedictorian, The guy was super smart, but he also was super something else, the witch doctor.
Yeah, he was. Doctor was something. But I tell you what, I loved the brother, and I learned a lot from him too.
Amen.
Yeah.
It sounded like he was an amazing guy. I'm kind of
upset
I didn't get a chance to meet
him.
Man.
He worked, as I recall, he worked when I met him. He was working for the Pepsi Cola company, and he was a guy that whenever a machine or something would break down, or they needed a machine in one of these restaurants or whatever, he would go and fix it or install it. And I mean, he was just phenomenal. I mean, it wasn't nothing he couldn't do, or no topic that he couldn't converse on. It was just, we would sit there, man, and do our thing and play chess. We'd be there for hours and just talking about everything and everybody. Yes. And he knew something about a little bit about everything.
Yes, that was the true jack of all trades.
Awesome. You talked about him not being able to beat you in tennis, but I noticed you didn't say that about chess.
No, I didn't say that. You're right. Yeah, I'm still not going to say that. Look, we would give and take. But that brother was a master. He was a chess player.
I love me some chess.
Okay.
And that's why I gravitated to him, because I learned a lot about chess playing with my brother. I'm telling you, man.
Right. So it's awesome. Okay, good.
That's amazing. Armin?
So what we're gonna do now, Stan, because we're getting close to that time, okay? So if Deneen has something she want to say to you, she can put it out. We're gonna let you close it with something encouraging for our viewers out there. But Deneen, do you have anything with Stan?
Well, what I wanted to do is I just wanted to make sure that that our viewers had the information. If there's any information that you have for people to be able to connect with your program, I wanted to make sure that you shared that with us and just say thank you so much. Like I said, it just warmed my heart to be able to really connect with my dad right off of Father's Day. That was everything to me. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Well, if you guys are ready for me to close, first of all,
not yet.
Okay. Give Roger a chance.
Roger, you have anything for him?
Oh, I enjoyed having you on the show. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for giving Deneen that thing about her father. I enjoyed that as well. Kind of make me a little upset I didn't get a chance to meet obviously one of the smartest people to ever come out of Annapolis. And I saw the joy brought on her face because, like I say, she the youngest. We got to take care of her. And thanks so much for being on the show, man. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
So before
and you are a legend.
Yes.
Definitely are.
Before you close it out, Stan, there's a few administrative things we want to put out. And then the floor is going to be yours, okay? Again, before I put out some administrative stuff, thank you, man. Roger is correct. You're a legend. Thank you for being transparent and opening up. And thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate that. Again, I want to mention the cruise coming up. The cruise, again, leaving out of Baltimore from the 8th through the 15th of August of 2027. You can book your reservations today or tomorrow. Contact me. I'll give you all the information you need. Also, Deneen, before you talk about the sponsors one more time, next week, our guest next week will be none other than Big Tony of Trouble Funk.
Big Tony. Yeah.
He will be in the
Got
house.
Big Tony.
Big Tony. Big Tony will be in the house and just a little snippet.
Pump me up. Like Perry makes you want to solve the case. And listen to the sound of the funky bass. Like a little bird who comes to your horn. Boogie on the down to the break of dawn. Like a party over here, a party over there, a party all in this atmosphere. Just wiggle your neck, stomp your feet, and boogie on down to the funky beat. But they call me Fish, and that's my name.
You got to come out next week to get the rest of it.
The knee had my flashback over there. The knee had my flashback.
I see it. I see it. Deneen, you got anything you want to say about our sponsors? Unmute.
I was gonna say I played with a group called D-Ice Friction back in the day, back in the 70s, and we actually played with Trouble Funk, man, in DC. You know, some of the old bands had a good time with those
That's
guys.
awesome.
Man. Yes, sir. Yeah, Tony's the man.
Oh, he's bad.
Do you do parties? Because I mean, I'd love to have a sax at my next event.
Well, we can talk about that.
Okay, Armand. Right? Don't we have an event coming up next year? I just wanted to say that. Okay, so I just wanted to recognize our sponsors, Mr. and Mrs. J.T. Jones, the owner of J&J Realty Investment Group, LLC, and Mr. Carol Henson, President, CEO, Image Power, Inc., and Mr. Ivy Stokes, CEO, co-founder, My Econ Incorporated. And we just wanted to say thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. We can't say enough about people supporting the program so that we can continue to provide great content and information and highlighting our local legends.
Yes, yes. Now, Mr. Womack, the floor is now yours.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having me. I've had a great time talking to you. Hoping I haven't bored you too much with what we've done. But if you want to contribute to the All-Stars, or if you want to be a part of the All-Stars, we welcome everybody. We always need volunteers, people who are sincere about working with kids. You can find us on our website at the Annapolis All-Stars, the number 2.org, or you can follow us on Facebook through the Annapolis All-Stars. There's several people we've got Anna All-Stars, we've got Annapolis All-Stars too. But check us out, or just come out to some of our games. We play, we're going into football now, so we'll probably have 7 football teams. We start these guys off at 4 years old, and we try to take them up through 14. Sometimes we lose them around 12 and 13 because of various reasons, but we're working on that, trying to keep it going. I just want to say to anybody that's listening, love your kids. Love your kids. Don't just love your kids. Love the kids that are around you. We like to say we're the All-Stars. We count every man. Here we come. Here we stand. Do or die. It's a battle cry. We'll stand tall and they will fall.
Love that.
There you have it. Come back next week for another exciting show. Hold tight, Stan.
Thank you.